On today's episode of the CLS Experience, we have a very special treat. He's a real estate tycoon and a multiple-time New York Times bestselling author, mentor, dynamic entrepreneur, and investor. He is a founding father of personal development and one of the most iconic keynote speakers and business consultants on planet Earth. He's a world leader in transformation, and he's responsible for the largest online product launch in history with a program he founded with Tony Robbins, No Big Deal. He's one of the most impressive thought leaders on the planet, and he just disrupted the self-education industry through his brand new Time to Thrive challenge. He's just a juggernaut in all facets of life and a terrific husband and father. Please welcome the legendary, exciting, multifaceted, brilliant, and interesting, handsome Dean Graziosi. How you doing, Dean?
Craig, that might be the best intro I've ever heard, dude. I'm going to applaud. That guy sounds freaking amazing. I want to learn from that guy. Hey, man, pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. It's funny because I always get a kick out of all the guests, a lot of our mutual friends' responses and so forth. But like I always like to say, it's your story. You wrote it. I just said it, Dean.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, man. And listen, for everybody listening, I know there's a million options, a million things to listen to. We live in the most distracted, busy time in history. So if you're going to spend 20 minutes or so with Craig and I, man, we're going to crush it. So this is a crazy time in the world. A lot of uncertainty, a lot of separation, a lot of polarization, worrying about inflation, worrying about recession. We went from the great resignation to maybe the great recession. This is a crazy time, but in crazy times, most people sit on their hands. Most people freeze. You know, it's fight or flight. The third one is probably the F that most people don't realize is the most damaging is you freeze. Like, what's going to happen? Who's going to fix it? What's going to happen next? If you're not the type to freeze, if you can gain capabilities from those who've already been there, if you could take uncomfortable action in this time, this is the time when you have nobody else running in the race. Yeah, so what an amazing time for you to be here, Craig, and support people, to have this interview. But here's what I want to say. Do whatever it takes to gain the confidence to move forward. Be disturbed with your own inaction, because just Google it. In times like these, in times of shift, in times of recession, it's when the most wealth is made, but it's made by the few who have the ability to move forward.
Yeah, you nailed it. And it's all about a paradigm shift, right? Like when I was on Wall Street, I used to tell my employees when times got tough, like you said, like recession as opportunity, so to speak. And the reality is in the pandemic is when I shifted and really changed my life and stepped into this stuff. And the whole irony is I'm making more money now than I was making on Wall Street, but that's just a bonus, right? I finally stepped into my purpose and my passion, and I'm giving back and I'm helping people. And ultimately, you just have to be bold to lean into that. And when times get tough, which they are right now, it's just a paradigm is how can I take advantage of this and make an impact? So let's start right there. Like, Dean, how does somebody shift their mindset to look at this instead of freezing like you just attested to, but look at it saying like, how can I utilize this as an opportunity?
Yeah, great. And before we go though, I want to applaud you. What you did, right, is probably what a majority of the people listening right now have a vision, a dream, or a passion to do, to shift. And shifting's scary. If you were on Wall Street, you had people working for you. I guarantee you had you put the time in, you put the effort in, you had friends, guaranteed you had friends telling you, Craig, what are you, crazy doing something different? Man, you're crushing it on Wall Street. You got the Mercedes, you drive in, you have lunch in downtown, right? Your peers are looking up to you because you're excelling, because you're obviously, if you're in this space, you are already working on your mindset, even working on Wall Street. I get it. I don't know your whole history, and I kind of already know your whole history, right? But you had guaranteed, like, are you effing crazy? Why are you going to shift? You're not freaking Tony Robbins. What are you going to do? Like, all of those things happen, but you know, and I think this is something today, wherever you're listening from, literally write this in your journal. You knew you were meant for more.
Yes.
Whether that's more money, more impact, being more the man that God, the world, the universe, your parents made you to be. Like, there was something inside of you saying, dude, you're doing great, but this is not you. There's something bigger. And it's that transition to go from that to going, I'm all in on this new thing, that some people get stuck, and why it's so great that you're just a shining example. It's why Tony loves doing what he does. It's why I love what I do, because we're all meant for more. Like, you should write that in your journal. I'm meant for more. So if you're meant for more and what you're currently doing might not get it there, then we must make a shift. Now I'm gonna, there's a short question. It's gonna be a longer answer, but I really think this will serve you today.
I love it.
You know, you're meant for more. Okay. So now let's compound that shift. When Craig made that shift to go from being in the business to now Craig sells information, right? You sell what you know. You do workshops or masterminds. You're doing this training here. You're helping empower people with your life experience so they can go faster. So you're getting paid by what you know or what you learn from other people, right? It's an asset most people don't count as the greatest asset they own. You could sell it over and over. You don't have to warehouse it, don't have to ship it. You don't have to worry about supply chain issues. Your margins are huge because you don't have to, right? And you get to, let me ask you something. Do you feel better getting somebody to invest with you, or do you feel better when you get to serve somebody and they live a better life?
The form of validation I receive these days is when somebody listens to this episode and says, I heard you and Dean speaking and you changed my perspective. That's what's
okay. What's you're making more money, but besides the making more money, if you park that, if you were just going head to head on fulfillment, your heart, your soul, and I'm not trying to get too foo-foo. We all want to make more money. I get that. But how cool is it now you can make more money by actually contributing to the world?
That's the most important thing, is contributing.
Right. No, and I feel it in your heart, and I could see what you're doing. So getting back to your question, here's what I want to tell you. That shift on its own is a scary shift. Craig gave up a Wall Street job, put time, effort, energy in. People associated with him. Sorry, I'm using you as an example.
No, I love it.
His family thought that's who he was. And now all of a sudden he's going to be a guy that does podcasts and workshops or creates a course. Come on. I know I went through it 25 years ago when I made that shift. Well, here's what I want to tell you is that is scary enough alone, but you take 2 years of a pandemic where mask, no mask, vaccine, no vaccine, left, right, extreme liberal, extreme conservative, crazy news, recession, inflation. When you add that on top of that scary story, it's compounded. So whatever Craig felt 2 years ago when he made this shift, if he was making that shift today, it would even be more intensified to that voice going, it's not time. Wait to see where things land. See if there's a different president coming. See if the economy shifts. And here's what I'm going to tell you. That voice will always be there. That resistance will always be there. And if it feels a little heavier today, congratulations for being human. So here's what I'd say. And in Tony Robbins' words, get more leverage. Get more leverage, whatever that leverage is for you. Listen to Craig Moore, listen to me, listen to Tony, listen to Jenna Kutcher. I don't care who it is, Brene Brown. Listen to somebody that gets in your head, that awakens that inner hero, that inner person that's dying to reach your full potential, and shut up that inner voice that says, we're not good enough. It's the wrong time. I'm too young. I'm too old. I live in New York City. I'm a stockbroker. Who would listen to me? I'm not Tony Robbins. Like all those voices, all they do, and the voice could be of your spouse, of your friends, of your family. You need to find a way to shut that voice down and evoke that inner hero, that inner fire that you have, and whatever it takes. Like for me, one of the things I do, I'll just give you a little hack.
Sure.
I heard this from Ed Milet a long time ago, and I think about it all the time. He's a dear friend of mine.
Same.
And he said to me, I just did his podcast last week. It's
I know you did. You just on mine too.
It's on fire, man. And long story short, Ed said, imagine being at the end of your life and meeting the person you could have been. And I said, imagine, and this is what I think in my head, this is the crap I do for me when I want to push myself. I want to be disturbed with inaction. I want to be disturbed with settling. I want to be disturbed with being afraid. You know what's more fearful than failure? More afraid than shifting your job? More afraid than going after who you are meant to be? You're meant for more. You know what's scarier than that? Is imagine at the end of your life, God, or whoever you believe your maker is, played you a video of the man or the woman you could have been.
And you don't recognize
what's more scarier than that? You're going to be scared. What if I fail? What if I look silly online? I don't really know I could teach something. I'm not like Craig. He's dynamic. Dude, did you feel insecure shifting? No matter how strong you are.
I had a moment of imposter syndrome.
Of course you did. So do I. When Tony Robbins asked me to be his partner 5 years ago, I was like, man, am I capable enough to be this man's partner? We're all going to have it. But those that let imposter syndrome win are the ones that play small and get to the end of your life, and you get the video of who you could have been. So here's what I'd say. Whatever it takes, read a book every day. I listen to it audio 1 hour a day, every day of my life while I work out every morning. I need to fuel my, you can't work out at the gym once a week and expect to be in great shape. You got to do it all the time. So empower your mind, whatever it takes, the end of your life, listening to audios, knowing that, yes, it's going to feel heavier, but those that move now, those that understand this is not a time to survive, this is not a time to play small, this is the time where wealth is really made, where you could thrive. do whatever it takes to be that one that moves out in front for your family, for yourself, or for your future, or for your own full potential. Because this is really prime time because you don't have a lot of competition.
Bang. Dean is on fire today. And guys, I just want to say for the audience, like in case you're not familiar with Dean, do a deep dive, go read many of his books, his website, his social media. We're just having a great conversation right now. I think that's what's most valuable. And Dean, we'll get you back for sequel and do a more deep dive. But I love how you always say, like, you always play like you're 10 points behind. You brought it today. And something that you said, like, playing small is canceled, guys. Like, no more of that. Right? Like this is that moment. And what, now that we're in a little bit difficult times, it's a time to reassess and to ask yourself, what would make you happy? What are your gifts? What are you good at? And like Dean is basically testing to, the biggest fear that we want to come across to you guys today to really feel is not taking a shot and looking silly. The biggest fear that you should have is not taking that shot and then wondering what if, right? Dean?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to use sports analogies, right? But Wayne Gretzky had two of the best quotes of all time. You miss 100% of the shots, right? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Boom, right? And the second one was when he's like, why are you so good at hockey? He said, most people skate to where the puck is. I figured out how to skate to where the puck was going. Like, think about that, right? The world is shifting. We just have to figure out where the world is going and get there before everybody else. Craig, you figured it out by saying, hey, instead of me doing the thing, I'm going to take what I learned from other people. I'm going to take this mindset that I have, and I'm going to sell my knowledge. Selling your knowledge, selling what you know, selling what you learn from other people. It's one of the fastest growing industries in the world. I don't know if you know this. Tony started 40 something years ago. I started 25 years ago. It wasn't that cool when we started. We helped pioneer this. Tony pioneered it, handed in, and then
I remember, Dean, I remember when my dad had the Tony cassette tapes.
Yeah, of course. Of course. I bought him 25 years ago, right? So think about that. But if you think about where the world's going and where you're positioned, Craig, and where everybody listening could be positioned, if that's where you want to see where the world is going, this is an industry just 5 years ago that was about $100 million a day. The self-education industry, e-learning, information industry, whatever you want to call it, was about $100 million a day. Right now, it's about $1 billion a day, about $340 billion a year industry. And every report predicts by 2028, selling what you know, the self-education industry will be $1 trillion a year industry. Yeah. So that's one of those areas of where the puck is going, right? And this is a time to say, should I investigate that? Should I look into what Craig did, what Dean did? Because this industry isn't being fueled just by the Tony Robbins and Deans and the people that you heard. It's being fueled by the average person saying, it's time for me to do something that I'm called to serve to do.
Yes. And you know what the best part is? Like, this is the ultimate hybrid of making an impact and making a lucrative living, right?
Exactly. Where else do you get that?
Nowhere, as far as I'm
right. Where else? If you could sell steel, maybe it helps build a building, but you don't feel fulfilled.
Right. Yeah. No, this is awesome, straight up. So you guys are dropping this program in August, correct?
Yes, August 2nd. Here's the thing. What I'm excited about is come August 2nd through August 6th. If you liked anything we shared today, if you'd like to see how Craig does what he does, how Tony and I do what we do, and we got some amazing guests coming to share why the self-education industry, even if it's something you never thought about, like who the hell would buy something from me? I don't have a following. I'm not a teacher. I don't have a degree. If all of that crap is in your head, still come. It's August 2nd through the 5th. We're calling the Time to Thrive Challenge. It's not kind of free. It's completely free. It's over 5 days. About 2 hours a day. Tony, myself, we got Russell Brunson and Jenna Kutcher and Brendan Bouchard and so many amazing guests. We even got Matthew McConaughey coming because he wrote the book Green Lights, and I love that book.
Great one.
But really, the 5 days is designed to show you why this industry, why now, why you, how to identify what to sell with confidence and who to sell it to, how to elegantly sell through service, how to use social media instead of it using you. And by the end of the 5 days, you're going to be fired up to say, hey, maybe not this industry, but I'm doing something. It's a time to thrive, not a time to survive. Or heck yes, Tony and Dean, I want to work with you. Tell me how to go even deeper, stronger, faster. Last year, we put 1 million people in, 950,000. It was insane. We're going for 1 million. And I think this is the last one we're ever doing. It's a lot of work to put together and to do it for free. But man, it's just what you said earlier. It is the most fulfilling and rewarding thing possible. And the last thing I'll say is, It's here, write this down, thrive245.com, thrive245.com. Go check out who's going to be there. Go register and take that link and send it to a friend and make it, get an accountability partner. Do it with 2 of you. Go through it at the end of each day, call each other, text each other, FaceTime, Zoom, say, what'd you learn? What'd you learn? This is really an easy time to fall behind. It's a time to be left behind, or it's a time you could just jump out in front of everybody else so you can bring everybody with you, especially your family. And I think it's going to be really something special. We'd love to have you as a guest.
Yeah. And just to give you an analogy, like, guys, like, this isn't the time to play defense. It's time to step on the gas. And Dean was using my story as an analogy to make a point, of course. But guys, like, when I started my CLS brand in the beginning of the pandemic, I had 300 Instagram followers. I didn't have any connections to all these celebrities, but I didn't think about that. I just said, how can I add value? What can I do to build the brand and so forth? And then that's when you really begin to have quantum leaps, like when you become available.
I love it.
For all the abundance and stuff. And you have to
Let me ask you something, Craig. Did you used to commute? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Did you used to commute to New York City?
I live here.
You live in the city, right?
When I first got out of college and I just got to Wall Street, I was commuting from my parents' house in Long Island.
Yeah. So besides that, though, you get to do this from home.
Yeah.
Or if you travel,
yeah,
you get to do it from where you travel.
I'm traveling all over now speaking. So yeah.
I mean, but think where it probably led. So tell me, you first started, you had 300 followers, you said?
300.
Yeah. So there had to be I'm not an expert. I'm a Wall Street guy. Who's going to take me serious? Like, you had to have those thoughts,
100%.
right? And then the main thing that Tony and I teach is start with just delivering value. It's reciprocity. And you don't have to be an expert. You have to be one chapter ahead of somebody who's behind you. If you were in sales for a year and they've not been in sales at all, how valuable would it be to pick someone's brain who was in sales a year longer than you? It's priceless. You don't have to be in sales for 20 years. I mean, I'll share this with you. And I think you guys should really hear this. I've said this before, Craig, but you understand it now. I said, what would it be worth if you could spend a day preparing and then you could go spend a day with your 20-year-old self? What would that be worth? Right? Is it, I mean, it's the most valuable thing you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
But what you have to realize, if you're watching this today, your life experience is worth that much to someone else starting off where you used to be.
That's right.
When you realize that, then you see why this industry is heading towards $1 trillion, because of regular people going, oh, wow, I went through a divorce. I'm on the other side. Oh, wow, I did learn sales. Oh, wow, I learned a lot of personal development from all that I've learned. I know how to get people aligned. I know how to get them to do yoga or sell stocks. People from every trade you could possibly imagine are just sharing their little niche of experience. And oh my God, it's unbelievable. And that's over 5 days. We want to show you why it'd be crazy not to be a part of this.
This is awesome. And I had 2 conversations the last couple of weeks, one with Ed, a mutual friend, Ed, and also Daryl Strawberry. And they both said something that you just reminded me of. It's like, for those of you guys that are listening to this right now, like, this all sounds great, but I'm not qualified. The stuff that you went through and then you got to the other side is exactly what—
that's your qualifier.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. You know, Russell Brunson said once, and I say it all the time, he said, your mess becomes your message.
Love it.
Yeah. Right? Your mess becomes your message. So we'd love to invite you. It's thrive245.com. It's going to be pretty special. You'll have a blast. There is 0 obligations. It's not one of those things where we say it's free and it's not. Last thing I'll say, though, is sometimes when you don't pay attention. That was Zig Ziglar said that, and it's so true. Just because this is a free challenge, don't devalue it. Tony's got a waiting list of people that want to give him $1 million a year to be his coach. I just did a 1-day consulting in the other room here. I'm at my office for $250,000 for the day. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying, put a value on this in your head. When you write down 235.com, put a value on it and say, oh my God, that's worth 1,000, or convince yourself you paid $5,000. Then you'll show up with pen, with journal, shut off all your distractions and go all in.
That's it. And also, correct me if I'm wrong, Dean, but times like this, the competition usually gets a little bit smaller.
A lot smaller.
Yeah.
I've been through 2 of these. I was in business in 99. I was in business in 07 in this business, and the competition gets smaller for those trying to do it on their own. Right. So those that have a coach, those that have the opportunity to learn from people who've already been there, get a chance to really go all in.
Yeah, this is awesome. I can't wait to bring you on for a sequel. We'll land the plane with this. I just wanted to ask, I think it'll be valuable for the audience, Dean. How come so many people, once they do get going, they give up right on the 1-yard line?
Really great question. I love that question, man. I think it's because of that whole self-doubt. A lot of times right before the breakthrough happens, right before the next level happens, people are like, it's either scared of success or scared of the failure if it starts. You know, we got all this crap in our heads. Craig, you got shit from your childhood. I got stuff from mine. We all got our stuff, right?
Absolutely.
But if you think of how many times in life you were almost there and you felt like the train went down the tracks without you, you missed opportunity. If that story, if that belief, if that thing happened, here's what I'd share with you as one of our parting comments. It's going to sound, oh, it's so positive. Feel that pain today. It's good to go to the dark side sometimes. It's good to say, damn, what happened last time I was really close? I got scared. I got nervous. I let my friends talk me out of it. I felt like an imposter and I gave up. And you felt like shit, for lack of a better word, that the train went down the tracks without you. Right? So what I'd say today, maybe it's different than what most people say. I'd feel that pain today of the last time you let something stop you from reaching your full potential. Dale Carnegie's greatest quote in my eyes is when he said, the biggest plight of the human race is knowing you have more potential and you're not utilizing it. Right? So what I'd say is, don't let the same thing, the same enemy, whatever you want to call it, stop you from moving forward, because so many people quit, like you said, on the 5-yard line. And last thing I'll say, someone, a guy older than me that I really respect, told me this 2 decades ago. He said, what most people don't realize when they're successful is you have to pay your success tax. And success tax could be 3 failures, 5 failures, 7 failures, 9 failures. But if you just keep moving forward, if you have a big enough purpose, if you have a big enough why, if you take uncomfortable action, it could be the 3rd failure, the 5th, the 7th, or the 9th. But on the other side of that is you 2.0.
Bang. That's where we drop the mic. Usually I'd ask what's the best way. We're over 1 million now for the audience to support you, but I already know the answer. We're going to drop it in the show notes. Best way to sign up is to just go to that link, correct?
Yep. Go to thrive235.com or 245, thrive245.com and sign up. And Craig, I'd love to jump back on with you another time, man. Let's go deeper. Let's do it. Let's do an hour next time.
Yeah, 100%. And before I conclude, I just want to say you're getting more handsome with age, my man.
Oh, thanks, dude. Appreciate that. I'll take that compliment. It's my wife. She keeps me young. I'm 53. We're having another baby in 3 months. 2.5 months.
Congratulations, brother. I just got engaged this weekend, so I'm feeling.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. So really good times. Life is what you make of it. Dean, I want you to know you're the definition of perspective, abundance, and growth. From taking your life experiences to spreading positivity, light, and deep truths. You're a true gladiator, visionary, role model, and beacon of hope for anybody coming up today with big goals and aspirations. I could personally guarantee your best yet to come. Keep on spreading your wings and leaving your mark on this world. So much love and respect to you. Thank you so much for stopping by and dropping these priceless nuggets today.
Appreciate you, man.
That was awesome, Dean.
Good. I think we packed a lot in 25 minutes.
Yeah, I was speaking to your girl. How's your dad?
He's doing good. He's doing good. I'm flying him home today. Good thing I got him one of those private jet medical planes. They're picking him up, driving him here. My dad's a warrior, man. He's old school Italian from New York, rugged. A stroke ain't gonna stop him.
I believe it. Cool. Anything else I could do to support you?
No, we appreciate it, man. We'll take whoever you send our way. We'll take great care of them. The coolest thing about this, Ed just called me yesterday. He's like, I'm going all in to support this. The cool part is over 5 days, and Tony's the one that wanted to do 5 days. Whether they get enrolled and buy our product or not, they leave on cloud 9. So anybody you send our way is going to hit you up and be like, Craig, thank you so freaking much. That was amazing. So we'll take good care of your people, man. And let's do another one of these.
Yeah. And let's build a friendship.
I agree. And I'm in New York. I have a house in New York about an hour from you.